Hello everyone, it's Mrs. Davis. Welcome to the Happy Place to Grow, where we have been working hard together to grow our reading skills. We know how important reading is, and we are discovering that when you use a few strategies, a few tools, you can be a more effective reader. We've been sounding out our words because we know words are built with letters and letters make sounds, sometimes more than one. We're also discovering that sometimes letter sounds team up and make a new sound or just one sound. Most recently, we have been working on short O, ah words, and we put with some ending sounds to create a rhyme. In session 4, lesson 1, we worked on the OCK family. And then our next lesson in session 4, OP. And finally, OCK. The cool thing about a rhyming family is this part stays the same. That's a predictable pattern we can look for. And then all that changes is the beginning sound. So it makes sounding words out just a little bit easier because we take the beginning sound with the pattern and put it together quickly. In our last session, we had these titles up here, OCK, OP, and Mystery, because we were reviewing all the rhyming family words plus some common words that we see a lot in books. So I would flash them at you and you read them, and then we decided what collection they went in. We were thinking about the rhyme, the middle, and the end, but the mystery words were words that didn't follow a pattern. In our session 4, we also discovered that these two partners team up, S and H, and say shh. So you will be thinking today, because you know what day it is. It's a chance to put our reading skills together with our spelling skills in our spell check lesson. I love how reading and spelling make a connection. If I can think about the sounds and write them down, then that word is really going to stick in my brain. And when I see it in print, I'm going to remember that word quickly and be able to read it. So this is a little challenging, but it's definitely taking us into the next level with our reading skills. So the first thing we have to do if we're doing spell check, and you've not ever joined me for spell check time, we have to make a little spelling grid because you at home, I'm going to say the word aloud. I'm not going to sort it yet until we do the check part. You're going to listen to the beginning, middle, and the end, and then you're going to write it in on a paper in a spelling grid. And we've talked about how you can make your grid. I made this one up already. If you're using like a plain paper, fold it in half, and then fold that half in half again. That's going to give you need at least 4 columns to spell your words. Now, the other part, when you're trying to get the boxes down, you have to get 5, plus your header. That one's a little bit more tricky for me. I always have trouble. So I always fold one down, and then I know my second fold is going to give me 1, 2, and then my third fold will give me 3 boxes, and keep just folding down until you have your 6 boxes. You need 6. And I was playing a little bit before we started, and I went ahead and pulled out a piece of, if you have just this kind of notebook paper, I thought this was cool because it's got a red line at the top that could be the header. You could still fold the paper in half, and then when you're doing your fold, you'll see that red line. That's for the heading. And then after that, you just have to get 5 folds down. 1, 2, 3. Now your paper is a little smaller, 4, 5. Okay. Your paper's a little smaller, so your little boxes, rectangle boxes, will be smaller. And then you just trace out. I like to trace mine out with a marker like this, just so I can see those grid lines. And as I call out a word, if you hear ought, then you're going to start spelling in the box. I'm not going to go in order. I'm not going to say all the ought words. It might be ought, it might be mystery, it might be ought. And you just, every time you hear a word with that rhyme, then you'll know where to place it in the box. So, are you ready? Gather some paper. I always encourage my students to use a pencil when they're doing spelling, because if you make a mistake, you've got to erase it and fix it when we do our spell check part. So, handy dandy eraser machine. All right, let's get started. Listen closely to the beginning, the middle, the end. Write the sounds you hear, and then we'll go back and check and see how well you did. I know you've got this. You've really worked hard. You know your letters, you know your sounds. Don't forget to take your time and write neatly, because when you're writing words, it's important to communicate with neatness so people can read it. If not, it's a waste of time. I don't like wasting time. Do you? Okay, here we go. First word, listen closely. First word is lot. Lot. I have to park my car in the parking lot. Write that one down. Where do you think it goes on your paper grid? Spell it out. Next word, sock. I was looking in the dryer and I could only find one sock. Sock. Okay, remember the pattern. If it's a short vowel and you hear a K at the end, think about your rhyming patterns. All right, word number 3, my. My best friend is coming over to play. My. I don't hear an ah. Huh. Next word, pop. I was playing with a balloon and it went pop. Pop. Next word, mop. Mop. I'm gonna go to Walmart and purchase a new mop to clean my floor. Mop. Write it down. Think about where it's going, what rhyming family. Write it down in the grid. You're just going down. Every time you hear a new word in that rhyming family, go down the ladder. Next word, rock. Rock. I will rock the baby to sleep. Rock. Got that one? Next word, talk. Talk. My little alarm clock goes tick, tock, tick, tock, all night long. Talk. All right, write it down. Be neat. Get your letters in the right direction. Next word, to. I want to go to the movies and see a good show. To. Let's go to the beach for summer vacation. I don't don't hear an ah. Where is it going? You know where it goes. All right, let's move on to the next one. Hot. Sure is hot outside in the summer. Hot. Got that one down? Let's move on. Next word, lock. Lock. I had to lock the door at night because I thought someone might come into my house. Lock. A lock can be a piece of hair also. Lock. Oh, here's a good one. And. The colors white and black are beautiful together. And. Where's it going? What sounds do you hear? You've got this. Don't write down the word amb. Make sure you've got the right letter. There's no such word as amb. It's and. Oh, this is one of my favorite things to do. Shop. Shop. I like to shop at Walmart. Do you? Shop. Now be careful with this one. Think about the sounds, but also think about the letters it takes to spell this word. Sometimes you hear only 3 sounds, but there might be more letters for the spelling. All right, that was a big clue for you. Next word, not. I'm not going to Walmart today because I don't have any money. Not. You can tell I'm just obsessed with shopping. I love it. Not. Next word, big. When I was at the zoo, I saw a big elephant. Big. Think about where it goes, and then think about the letters that you need to write and write them in the correct direction because we don't want big to turn into dig. You know what I'm talking about. Big. Okay. How's your spelling? Is it looking good? You writing neatly? You can do it. Takes a little time, but you can do it. Next word, dock. The sailor tied his boat to the dock so it wouldn't float away. Dock. Duh, duh. Careful with that letter. Make sure it's in the right direction. Okay, here we go. Next word, hop. Hop. We played a game on field day where you had to hop with a partner. Hop. Boing, boing, boing. Hop. Oh, we just have a few more. You can do it. Keep going. Don't give up. Spelling and reading. Connection. Here we go on the next one. Got. Got. She went to the doctor and got a good report. Got. Here's a common word. Oop, that was a clue. You probably know where it's going to go, but do you know how to spell it? The little puppy dog found a new home. You can do it. You know where it goes. Think about the sounds. We've worked on the partnership in our earlier sessions. 2 more to go. We've got this. Okay, next word, top. I had a milkshake with whipped cream and a cherry on top. That sounds good. Top. One more word. We got this. The word is pot. Pot. We planted a flower in a beautiful pot. Pot. What do you hear at the beginning, middle, end? Wow, that was a great listening writing session. I know you've got this. Now, step 2 for this spell check is we're going to go back through. I'm going to read those words again, show you them, and then you're going to check to see if you spelled correctly. If you did, put a check mark. So a check mark looks like, we've done this before, but just for review, if your word, just say your word was my, and you had it spelled, and it was spelled correctly, you would put a check mark. But if you spelled the word my like this, and it was not spelled correctly, you go back and fix, erase, and write the correct spelling. So you can go back and check it. It's important to go back and fix those errors because your brain needs to think about the right way to spell it, not the wrong way. And hey, if you make a mistake, it's okay. It's all part of learning. The more you practice, the more permanent things get in your brain. And pretty soon, you'll have it down, no problem at all. All right, here we go. The first word was lot. And lot goes in the ot family. It's spelled L-O-T. Check that one. Okay. Second word was sock. And that runs in the OCK family. So give that a check. Make sure you have CK as your ending sound because that's the pattern for short vowels if you hear K at the end. Next word was my, and that was in the mystery column. That's one that we worked on several sessions ago. We're just reviewing some of those common words that we've already worked on. Then there was pop, and that's P-O-P. The beginning sound is the same as the ending sound. That one should be easy. Pop. And right after that was mop. They rhyme. They both say op. M-O-P. Make sure your P's in the right direction. Hey, and if you have a capital P, a tall one, you need to circle that P because you're going to fix it. Because when you're doing your pop, you don't want to have a capital P at the end like that. So you would circle, and then, to go back and erase and make it lowercase. You want to be excellent and do things the correct way. That way the practice session is really beneficial. Then there was rock, and that rhymes with sock. And right after that, talk. So sock, talk, rock. And then the word to, T-O, and that was in our mystery column. That's a common word that we see often in books. We want to be familiar with that. And then there was hot, and hot rhymes with lot. How's it going? You doing pretty well? I have confidence in you. I know you're doing great. But again, if you make a mistake, it's okay. Just fix, erase. Keep practicing. Lock. Okay. And then our connecting word and came up. And you see the way the D is formed. It's important to write that D in the right direction, or you're spelling and And it's not a word. Doesn't even sound right. I'm glad and is what it is. And then I was born to shop. And that one, even though there's 3 sounds, to spell it correctly, you have to write SH. Sometimes that's what's tricky about the difference between reading and spelling. Sometimes the letter sounds are different than the sounds you hear, so that's why you have to really study up and be focused. That went the op family. And then there was not. That rhymes. Lot, hot, not. And then big. And of course, that's a B. Make sure your G is lining up with that short I. They should start at the same height. And then the G has that curly tail that drops. That's the correct way to form a lowercase g. That goes in the mystery. And then we have the word dock, boat dock. And I've run out of space, so I'm just going to put that here on top of lock. It's fine. Did you spell dock with a D? Hopefully you didn't spell Bach. Yikes. If you did, you put a B. Just circle it. And then hop. At Easter, do you do the bunny hop dance? That's fun. Got. Lot, hot, not got. And remember that G, you're making a round shape here, and then that bottom part, it drops. It drops below the writing line. It's lined up, the top is lined up with the lowercase o, but then it has that curly tail. So make sure you form that correctly. Yeah, it's important to write your letters in the right direction. And there's the word the, and we talked about in our very first session, or one of our very first lessons with short A, th, or short I. It's been a while since we covered the TH. It can say the th or th, but you have to spell it with a T and an H. If you're writing the, you have to spell TH, but you only hear one sound. 2 letters represent one sound. And that goes in the mystery. I'm just going to put it on top of big. Next word, what was that? Yeah, top. Top rhymes with pop, mop, shop, and hop. Put him on top right there. And the final word in our spelling collection today, pot. Yeah. Here we go. P-O-T. And remember with P, it's like G, there are some lowercase letters that drop below your writing line. They line up with the lowercase, that little dashed line. Some are tall, some are small, and some fall. That helps me to remember the way to form the lowercase letters and what space they fill on the line. And lowercase p is a letter that falls below your writing line. Yeah, and it's important to make sure when you need a lowercase, you use a lowercase. When you need a capital or uppercase, there's a reason to use that. Yeah, just takes a few minutes to think about it. Well, that was a great session. Question, how'd you do? Did you spell everything correctly? If you did, thumbs up. Did you have a few issues? A couple words maybe you didn't spell correctly, maybe here in the common words? Thumbs up to you too, because I know that you were working and trying your very best. And that's what's important about reading, writing, spelling. If you're working hard and you're giving it your very best, that is success. And if you got something that wasn't quite right, just check it, correct it, you got your handy dandy pencil and eraser, comes in handy. You might not get it right the first time, but if you keep working, it'll stick in there and you'll be an expert reader and an expert speller. All right, in our final session 4 lesson, we're going to be putting these words and a few others into a short story. This is something we've added in our last couple of sessions together. We're going to be reading. We're going to put our word reading and our spelling into a collection of words and sentences that form a short story. And we're going to see if we can read the story successfully because we've practiced so much. So join me on our next time together when we're going to read a short story. I know you're going to do great. As always, keep working hard, keep spelling, keep reading, but have fun doing it. You know, it gets easier and funner the more we practice. Thanks for joining me. I'm so happy when we meet here together and we can learn and share. All right, I'll see you real